Mr. Gary Russell Jr., he on a comeback. He had the shoulder surgery and he about ready to go now. But he say he don't want no tune-ups. Throw him right back in the pot and he want Tank Davis. He also say that him and Tank is a bigger fight than Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Well, we gonna talk about it. I got the audio. I'ma let y'all hear what Gary Russell had to say for himself. But before we do that, make sure that you hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. So my man, Mr. Gary Russell's back, you know what I'm talking about? And he calling out Tank Davis. We all know that Gary Russell, man, he been calling out Tank for a long time. That's a fight that he been wanting for a long time. Him being able to see Tank grow up through the amateurs, you know, being in the DMV area. And he been knowing Tank since Tank was a little kid. But he want that smoke. A lot of people want that Tank fight because Tank bring that bag. Now, before we get into that, we all know that Gary, you know, he suffered a horrible shoulder injury, and he had the shoulder injury before the Mark McSile fight, but he went on with the fight anyway. But the injury came back, and it came back worse than ever in the Mark McSile fight. Now, I believe, and I always felt that Gary, he got robbed in that Mark McSile fight. I mean, he schooled Mark with one arm. And if y'all ever been in a boxing ring, right, y'all should understand how hard it is to fight without your lead hand. You know what I'm saying? You can't fight without your jab hand, your lead hand. It's very hard not to be able to use your lead hand and fight. It's a different story when you still have your lead hand, and say if you're an orthodox fighter and you still have your left but you can't use your right. You can keep somebody off with the jab and things like that, but when you can't even do that, that's very hard to fight through that and to win a fight with that. In that fight, Gary Russell brought all his tools out of his bag. You know, his footwork was tremendous, and he just showed you that his IQ is on a whole nother level. But we know the politics of boxing. They wanted to get those titles away from Gary, you know. They didn't want Gary to be the champion no more because he was only fighting once a year. They wouldn't really making no money off of him except for the once a year, and sometimes even once every 2 years when he fought. And he wasn't bringing no fanfare to the sport when he fought because he was taking too long of layoffs in between. But with all that being said, you can't take away the skill that Gary Russell has. Now, we know that Gary talk a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? He's always talked that talk. But Gary, he always been able to back it up in the ring. And that's why I F with Gary the long way. But now, he calling for a Gervonta Davis fight right off the rip, you know, right off coming off a shoulder surgery. He say he don't want no peon type fight. He say throw him back in the pot. He want Gervonta Davis. And, you know, when I heard that, I'm like, Gary, you kind of tripping now. You know, I messed with you the long way, Gary, but calling for Gervonta Davis right off the rip, being out of the ring, as long as you've been out of the ring, I believe it'll be more than 2 years or, yeah, something like that since the last time you've been in the ring, especially by the time you fight Tank, if that fight were to happen. To jump back in the pot with Tank, hey, man, you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire. Now, does Gary Russell have the skills? Yeah, he have the skills, but that's a whole different weight class. You moving up 2 weight classes and you're getting in there with a heavy hitter like Gervonta Davis that not only can crack, he has a high ring IQ and he got great boxing ability too. So, you know, I think Gary, man, he reaching with this one. But hey, you know, I can't tell that man not to believe in himself. He believe in his skills, so I got to take my hat off to him for believing in his skills. But he also say that him and Gervonta Davis is a bigger fight than Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And when I heard that, I said, man, Gary, you're tripping. You and Tank Davis ain't a bigger fight than Gervonta Davis. But then he explained what he meant by that, and he explained why he feels it's a bigger fight. That's his opinion. But what I'm going to do for y'all right now is I'm going to let y'all hear what Gary Russell had to say about a fight with him and Gervonta Davis, and what he had to say about, you know, the Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight, and him and Tank being a bigger fight than Spence and Crawford. I'm going to play the audio, and then I'm going to get back and I'm going to cook with y'all.
Yeah, like I say, we've been in the kitchen cooking though. We've been in the kitchen cooking. I've been working this on. Like I said, it's been a year since the surgery. I wanted to make sure that it was strong to my liking. So I can get out here and do what I want to do because, like I say, y'all definitely gonna see me this year. And I ain't one of these half steppers. So ain't no tune ups. Don't expect me to be trying to fight no tune ups, no none of that shit. So yeah, we just drop me right back in the pot. Just drop me right back in the pot. So that's the reason for a little bit of the layoff. We just want to make sure it's 100% right, But we in motion, But everybody know I've been wanting Tank. I've been wanting Shorty for a minute. I've been wanting him for a minute. I don't need no peons. We don't need no tune-ups. Send me your best hitter.
So right now, the piece I'm gonna play y'all is Gary talking about him and Tank being a bigger fight than Errol Spence and Terence Crawford.
I think me and Gervonta Tank Davis would be bigger. You got the classic puncher versus the boxer. You know what I'm saying? The boxer puncher, and then be honest with you, they can say I don't hit hard all the fuck they want. You don't see too many people running in here with this shit. There's a reason why. This shit hurt. So I think that's one of the reasons why, then you also have to mention, just within the area, the DMV area, it would be big within the DMV area alone. That's it'd be big in the DMV area alone. Like if we were to have a fight like that in the DMV, like it would be almost not fair to everyone else because they're not gonna have an opportunity to even come to the fucking fight. You can close the fucking airports down because everybody in the DMV area, that fight would need to be held at like the stadium at the Capitol. What's the new Redskins name? What's the new name of the Capitol? Commanders. You gotta be at the Commanders. They gotta be at the Commanders Stadium or something like that. It'll be one of those big time fights. And you can shut the airports down for that. You ain't even gotta let nobody in the city. Just people in the DMV area alone was selling out. Them tickets go on sale. Them are gone before they even touch. They gone before they touch down.
Now off the rip, I love the confidence that Russell have in himself. In order to be a great fighter, you gotta have the confidence that man had. A lot of people don't realize that shoulder injury that Gary had is a shoulder injury that he's had for years and years. He always fought through it. It's just in the Mark Messiah fight, it was at his end. He couldn't fight through it no more. But as far as him saying how big the fight between him and Tank would be just in the DMV area alone, he right. You know what I'm saying? They would have to put that fight in Redskins Stadium because the DMV area would come out and they would show out big for Tank Davis and Gary Russell. Now, Tank Davis is big all over. You know what I'm saying? All over the U.S. Anywhere that Tank go, he's a big name fighter. Now, Gary Russell, he's a big name fighter in the DMV area. But the thing is, Gary Russell, all the layoffs and all the inactivity that he's had, it really hurt his career in notoriety. A lot of these young cats, they don't even know who Gary Russell is. These casual fans, they don't know who Gary Russell is. And Gervonta Davis, he has a huge casual fan base. And what I mean by the casual fan base that he got a fan base that don't even watch boxing, but if they know that Tank is fighting, they gonna tune in. And those same fans, they not gonna know who Gary Russell is. Gary Russell to them is the same as Mario Barrios was or Hector Garcia was. He on the same level to them. Even though he's a much better fighter than both of those fighters are, but he's on the same level to all these casual fans. They don't know who a Gary Russell is. And yeah, Gary Russell has all of the tools, the mouthpiece and everything to go with it to be a superstar, but he didn't utilize that, He wanted to stay in the background. He didn't really say too much unless he got in front of a camera, but he never hardly got in front of a camera. And in today's boxing, you got to be able to promote yourself. You got to be willing to promote yourself. It's not that Gary can't promote himself. It's that, he just didn't take that route. His brother's doing the same thing. They all can talk, but they don't. And you know what I'm talking about? So I don't know about Tank and Gary being a bigger fight than Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Yeah, it would be huge in the DMV area. But when it comes down to being a huge fight, how many pay-per-view tickets is gonna sell? We know that Tank, we know that he gonna sell regardless, right? But is he gonna do numbers like Ryan Garcia and him did? Nah, it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm talking about? And we still gotta wait to see what type of pay-per-view numbers Errol Spence and Terence Crawford gonna do. But to say that's a bigger fight, I don't know if I agree with that, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, in the DMV area, yeah, it's huge. Baltimore, DC, all of the DMV area, they gonna show out. You dig what I'm saying? But being a huge attraction means more than just selling out stadiums. You got to be able to sell them pay-per-views. And we know that Gary Russell got the mouthpiece to sell the pay-per-view. It's just that the people that's going to buy it, a lot of them, they don't know who Gary Russell is. So that crossover fan base that bought Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia on pay-per-view, the TikTokers, the YouTubers, and all of them, they ain't finna pay to see Tank fight Gary Russell because they don't know who Gary Russell is. And I rock with Gary the long way, but I don't know if I can agree with that. You feel me? But hey, I love his confidence. I love him saying that he don't want no tune-ups. Throw him right back in the mix. It could be at 130, at 135, wherever it is. But first on his list, he want Tank Davis. I don't think that fight will happen. We all know that, you know, the politics don't want Gary to shine like that. They don't want him to get a bag like that. And I don't know how he'll do versus Tank Davis coming off a 2-year layoff and moving up 2 weight classes. Most of y'all is going to say that Gary going to get knocked the F out. I'm not going to go that far, but hey, it's still a fight that I would like to see, but I would like to see it after Gary get at least a fight in. You know what I'm saying? Test the shoulder and see how you look fighting at 135 pounds. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all feel about this. I know y'all finna go ham on Gary in the comments. I rock with Gary, you know, one of my favorite fighters, but I know y'all gonna dog him out in the comments. Y'all drop the comment. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Make sure that y'all hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. Y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.